Afternoon, class. Welcome to the new session of class 10th. Like last year, we will be having four subjects. One is history, geography, economics, and political science. So today, we will start with geography first chapter, that is resource and development. Now let us first see what is the meaning of resources. As we have already learned in class 8, the meaning of resources means anything that can be used to satisfy our needs. Yet, with the passage of time, the meaning of resource has been changed. Now let us all see what is the modern meaning of resources. Everything available in our environment which can be used to satisfy our needs, provided it is technologically accessible, economically feasible, and culturally acceptable, can be termed as a resource. Now let us quickly see the classification of resources. Resources has been divided into numbers of groups and categories. And let us see, on the basis of origin, it has been divided into biotic and abiotic. And on the basis of stock, renewable and non-renewable. And on the basis of ownership, we have individual resources, community resources, national and international resources. And on the basis of the status of development, we have potential, develop, stock, and reserve. Now, on the basis of origin, we have two types, which is seen on the screen: biotic resource and abiotic resources. Resources which are obtained from biosphere and have life is known as biotic resources, for example, like human beings, animals, plants, etc. Now, if we look into the screen, we could see that abiotic resources are all those things which are composed of non-living things are called abiotic resources. For example, water, soil, air, minerals like etc. Now in the next we have on the basis of exhaustibility. Resources has been distributed on the basis of renewable and non-renewable resources. As we have already learned what is meant by a renewable resources, those resources which can be renewed or replenished quickly in various ways through physical, chemical or mechanical processes. And these are examples like solar and wind energy. Now, if we look at the non-renewable resources, these resources take millions of years in their formation. Some of the resources like metal are recyclable and some like fossil fuels cannot be recycled and get exhausted with their use. Now let us see on the basis of ownership. Resources has been divided into four categories, that is the individual resource, community resource, and national and international resources. Let us see individual resources. Resources which are owned privately by individuals are known as individual resources. Now if we look at the community resources, these resources which are accessible to all the members of the community are known as community resources. For example, we can see the grazing grounds, village, and the park nearby your houses. Now, if we look at the national resources, technically all the resources belong to the nation. The country has the legal power to acquire even private property for the public goods. All minerals, forests, wildlife, land within the political boundaries and oceanic area up to 12 nautical miles from the coast belongs to the nation. So we could see that all the resources within the political boundaries and oceanic area are known as national resources. Now if we look at the international resources, international resources are those resources which belongs to all the countries of the world. International resources are regulated by some international institutions in order to help the nations use natural resources sustainably without compromising economic growth and human needs. And in this kind of international resources, we must remember that no individual country can utilize these resources without the permission. Basis of the status of development, resources has been further classified into four categories. First one is potential resources. Potential resources are those resources which are found in a region but have not been utilized is known as potential resources. They may be used in future. Now, for example, we can think of the uranium found in Ladakh. Now let us see the developed resources. Resources which are surveyed and their quality and quantity have been determined for utilization is known as developed resources. The third one we have next is the stock resources. Materials in the environment which have potential to satisfy human needs, but human beings do not have the appropriate technology to assist to these resources is known as stock resources. Now let us see the last one, that is the reserve resources. Reserve resources are those subset of stock which can be used with the help of the existing technology but they are still unused. They are known as reserve resources. Now let us quickly recall and summarize what we have learned today. We have learned what is meant by resources, and we also have learned the classification of resources, the different types of resources, how it has been classified on the basis of origin, on the basis of exhaustibility, on the basis of ownership, and on the basis of the status of development. Now I would like to end this class with a assignment, an activity to do it at home in your register. Draw a flowchart on the classification of resources. I repeat, draw a flowchart on the classification of the resources. Thank you, and we'll continue tomorrow with the land use, causes of land degradation, and how we should conserve the land.